Every time I pass this windmill, I'm reminded of that simple joy I got in first picking wheat, processing it in the mill, and getting the base to many options stemming from that bread on Tutorial Island. Even though most people do train it, cooking is an underappreciated skill with its various creations and confections. And although I don't do it often, the making of pizzas, stews, and pies is fun and immersive for me, down to churning butter, and the results end up being a feast for the eye. However, I'd argue that most people see cooking directly connected with their highest fish available. This leaves us working for 91 cooking and 81 fishing for that sweet 22 HP heal. But when we go to the vegetables section and see the equivalent healing at level 68 cooking, the baked potato with tuna and sweet corn may seem tedious with all of its ingredients, but I assure you that you should be taking the time to make these. At 35 fishing, you're going to be catching tuna that I bet you're dropping anyways. The rest is all gathered for free. When combined, they are valued at about 1200 to 1300 to even 1400 GP, giving you an opportunity to save a lot of money and even make some. Alright, so today we're going to be making and praising the beloved tuna potato from scratch. I'm going to be starting off here in Catherby. It's my favorite place to harpoon fish. It's just the most nostalgic for me. And also I like warm southern tuna. And this is clearly wild tuna, as you can see. Free access to the open sea. Whereas in the Fishing Guild, you can clearly see that this is farmed tuna. Alright, this is an enclosure within another enclosure. This is not wild caught. So I don't want any of that. And it's northern and cold. I don't want that either. I want nice, fresh, warm tuna. Alright, so we've caught some fish here. I do have plenty more banked, so we're going to go ahead and get to the next step. And the other reason why I like to start this process here, at least for this video in Catherby, is because we want to be able to quickly get some empty sacks if we don't have some already. So I do have most of the supplies already banked here, but I'm going to go ahead and do this process as if I had nothing. By 22 of these sacks, teleport to Lumbridge. We're going to head on over to that potato farm. We're going to go ahead and dump these in. We'll empty these later. So now we're going to be teleporting to Varlamore. Much like potatoes, Sweetcorn is way more convenient to pick than farm, and with the release of these two fields, and more specifically this one here, it's really what makes this possible. And I start picking from the northern side over, so we're just going to go ahead and pick an inventory of Sweetcorn. When I first tried doing this and I came to pick the Sweetcorn, I noticed that the stalks would not disappear, and that instantly threw me off. It seemed like it would be very difficult and tedious to pick these, and it somewhat is, but if you just go around the edges, there's going to be enough to fill up your inventory. And then you're going to land on the side with the teleportation system, with the Quetzal. So you can then just teleport right to the Hunter's Guild and have a quick bank. Awesome, we got another full inventory. It is time to head on over to Osidius. Right, so here we're going to actually get 656 GP, buy a pack of empty buckets. We're going to buy 5 bowls, and then up here a knife. There we go. This dairy cow is closer than the one in Zenaris. Plus, I don't really trust that lunar milk. Not for butter anyways, it's better for cheese. And the reason why this spot is better is because you can one click back over to the bank. And even though we only have 28 buckets of milk, I want to get this churned into butter ASAP so it stays nice and fresh. And I don't want to run the risk of contaminating it with any sort of teleportation radiation. So we're going to just run a little bit south and run to this churn right here. Wonderful. We've gotten our butter made. Now, we're going to go ahead and get everything cooked up. And now we have all of the potatoes buttered, so we're going to be able to work in batches of 6 as opposed to 5, which is still fine, but I find that this is easier. Now the bowls are going to stay in your inventory along with the knife. Use the bowl on the corn. And that was a left click use, which is convenient for this. And then you get a second left click use on the knife with the tuna. Now you're going to have to right click use. And there we go. We're making our first batch of tuna potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and process these. We have a good amount now. I'm only going to count the 226 potatoes that we got from Lumbridge here. Let's go ahead and check the price on this. It should be about 300k. And there we go. 22 HP heals. It always feels good to bring tuna potatoes. I might sometimes bring several slots with a lower HP healing food just so I can drop it and pick up a valuable drop that I get from a monster. But other than that, I love my tuna potatoes. So happy I started making them, and I wanted to just share it with you guys. So that's my tuna potato video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.